Alrighty, sorry about the little bit of a delay, guys. I had to get some treats for Loki because you guys always love to see him get some type of food here. Hey, bullshit, happy to see you guys. Hope you guys have all been having a great day. Bitcoin surprised me today by actually having a very nice pop-up. And you guys know, maybe I thought we might pop up a little bit, but I thought we were still kind of heading down here a little bit more. And that's what we saw from the stock market today. The stock market went down, crypto went up. Altcoins didn't do too much, which is kind of my concern right now. But I think everybody is basically just waiting to see how bullish or how dovish Jerome Powell is going to be over the next few months. We're going to talk about that and a bunch of other stuff here over the next few minutes. But before that, I'm going to give Loki a treat because he still remains to be a good boy. You can see him right here, eyeballing the treat. See, this is the way I look at Bitcoin, right? Yeah. Alrighty, so let's get started, everybody. Hey, Kryptonite, happy to see you, my man. Let me go over here and push. Oh, let's go to this one for today. There we go. I do want to let you guys know that we do have a new sponsor today. This stream was sponsored by Femix. If you guys are looking for a powerful, new, secure way to trade crypto, this is going to be one of your best choices out there. Unfortunately, for all of us United States guys, this is only for those of you guys outside of the country, so please make sure not to do anything crazy or anything like that. Just choose the exchange that's best for you guys, okay? Now, let me do one more thing here. I gotta figure out how to make this a little bit easier on myself. You guys know I've been changing stuff up a little bit, but I want to make it so where my picture always has that roundabout, which is gonna make things a little bit more complicated. But there was a little bit of news today. I'm not really gonna talk about the Deutsche Bros, you know, all that type of stuff, or the Google unveiling the AI payments and stuff like that. It's cool, it's information, and I don't think that's what really has been moving the market today. I think part of the reason, not the whole reason, I'd probably say only 20% of the reason Bitcoin had a pretty good day is we had some news coming out today that US lawmakers have been tapping Saylor and Lee to advance Bitcoin's reserve bill. As you guys already know, these guys are just massive crypto doves. I know they love cryptocurrency. They've been buying it for a while now, and Lee is heavy into Ethereum right now, as you guys might imagine. He's pretty much copying Saylor, who did the same business model with Bitcoin. Saylor's Bitcoin, Lee's Ethereum. They want both of these suckers to go higher and higher and higher. And because most of us don't have the ability to buy $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, maybe we can buy one Ethereum pretty easily, maybe. I am looking to see if I want to invest in Lee's new company here, especially as we are looking towards we might be at the beginning of a nice rally happening going on through the end of Q4. Q4 is going to be volatile, but I think it's going to be a really good one, which is why we've been, dollar cost averaging and everything like that, right? Now, as far as the stock market and everything like that, the stock market went down a little bit today. CNBC was saying it was a bad day. It wasn't a bad day. We're down 0.27%, down 0.13% for the SPY. NASDAQ is down 0.07. Again, we were just at all-time highs. It's okay if we come back just a little bit here. Russell is down 0.9% again. Everybody's expecting that rate cut, which is pretty nice. And everybody's right now is talking about the Fed and how they're about to cut interest rates here. We're just going to read the headlines for today. I read the story earlier and it just God, it was just boring. So I don't want to bore you with the story. Let's just read the key points. And plus, the story is basically what we've been talking about for the past, 2 weeks now, ever since we really started to get that bad jobs data, excuse me. The Fed meets with some big, sorry guys, I'm still on my fast. I'm going to be a little bit blah for a minute here. The Fed meets with some big items on the agenda, an important rate decision and forecast of what's ahead, combined with a healthy dose of political intrigue uncommon for the central bank policymakers. Now, there's a little bit of intrigue, sure, whatever, but the forecast for what's ahead is what the market is looking for tomorrow. We already know with a how much percent of certainty, probably 95, 96% now, we already know with a 96.1% of certainty that we are going to be having a rate cut happening tomorrow. What we want to know, though, is what's happening in October. And we don't have a rate cut, and we don't have a meeting in November, so we have to have another one in December. What's happening in the next few months? I would expect we're going to be having 3 rate cuts by the end of the year. I would also expect that we'll have to see how bad inflation gets with the tariffs and stuff like that. We're going to have to see how bad, if we see how bad inflation gets, I think we have an opportunity, along with the jobs numbers, I think we have an opportunity for one of these to actually be a 50 basis point cut. I am not going to go as far as saying I'm expecting a 100 basis points gone by the end of the year. I think it was at 75. But if we start to have some really bad jobs data and the inflation really isn't as bad as we'd expect, you would expect to see probably in December, not really in October, probably in December, you would expect to see a 50 basis point cut, which could really juice us up going into 2026. Early 2026, I think we're fine. But mid 2026, I think eventually we're going to have to come with a pullback here, because this rally for the most assets out there, it's been pretty extreme, as you guys might imagine, right? Now, one of the things that I do like about this, you guys know I love trading economics, and this is the Fed funds interest rate. Typically, when we go into a hiking cycle, it's a very long, drawn-out thing. 2022 was such a market crash because we went so fast because of transitory. However, when we do start to cut, it is cut. We had one last year. Cut. We're kind of flat. Now I expect it's the same type of thing. Cut. We're going to have a few cuts going our way. I highly doubt we're going to cut and then pause. That would be a hawkish cut by the Fed tomorrow. And if we had something like that, Bitcoin would plummet back down. The stock market would come back down. The Russell 2000 would be coming down hard, like 5-6%. I don't anticipate anything like that is going to be happening, okay? Now, if I wake up on time, I'm going to try to stream the Fed's meeting tomorrow, but there's probably a good chance we're just going to be talking about it in the afternoon, probably around 4 o'clock like we are right now. But I expect him to be fairly dovish tomorrow. I don't expect him to cause a bunch of chaos in the markets. I anticipate his mind right now is not so much on questions about what the Fed is going to be doing, but more on the questions of Lisa Cook that are going to pop up. You know, the Fed woman who lied on her forms, made a mistake on her forms, clerical error, whatever it may be. That, and then there's a new guy in town who's just going to be there for like a few months. But while he's there, he's also working in the White House, so he has like a conflict of interest. So I think a lot of questions are going to be there. And then they're going to hear, of course, a lot of stuff about jobs, inflation, tariffs, But I don't think it'll be that terrible here. One of the things that'll probably annoy me is they're going to try to focus too much on Trump when it comes to these this meeting. I know Trump doesn't like Jerome. I know Jerome Powell hates Trump just as much as Trump hates Jerome. But the important things to focus on tomorrow is not the political side of things. That's what the media is going to try to push. Don't focus on that. Focus on what he says in his statements, and if he thinks its rates no longer need to be as restrictive. You don't want to see restrictive really at all in his statement unless they're saying they're no longer going to be restrictive, all right? And I'll read the statement. I'll plug the statement into AI. We'll have some fun seeing if Gemini or ChatGPT can disseminate what that means for the broader economy. It'll probably mean what we think it's going to mean, but it's always nice to have that validation from a superior AI. All right, so as far as the portfolios are going right now, the main portfolio is up 1.71% today. That's kind of interesting, okay. The group portfolio is up 1.42%. The fart coin portfolio, that is down 24%. This thing has been a freaking disaster here. I'm still going to hold. I'm down about, like $93. It's not the end of the world. But man, I really hope when altcoin season runs around, this thing really decides to take off, because I have just not been entertained by it at all. As far as the high risk one, we're up 1% today. We're only down 3.5% over like the last 90 days. We started this back up July 1st. A couple months basically. Well, we've been having some trouble here, as you might imagine. At one point, we were up, 22%, but we didn't sell, of course, because we're holding this for a longer period of time. But this portfolio may be something I double down into. Maybe instead of having $700 caught going in here, maybe I just bump it up to maybe $1,300 to $1,400 here, which could be interesting. I just got to make some time for it. You see a lot of stuff is red, a lot of stuff is green above my head, but the stuff that's green just has a little bit more money invested into it. Like the Aerodon Finance, I was really happy with that one. All of a sudden, that one popped up 63% over the last few weeks. And if you look at, boom, there we go. When did I buy this? Oh, July 1st, yeah. All right, bought it over here, not at the bottom, but it was, the momentum was carrying it along a little bit. it has been making a pretty solid move, which I think is pretty darn good. This thing it used to be all over the place, but it's above $1 billion market cap right now. When we bought it back over here, it was around 760. Oh no, 661 million. It's a pretty nice return. Although it's not really enough to keep the entire portfolio in the green. We're still in the red, just a tad, just a tad. Later on this weekend, I will be making a new portfolio if you guys want to follow it. It's because you guys know I'm working with Femex now, and I'm going to make a portfolio on there where I buy some tokens with leverage. I think I'm going to have 2 to 3x leverage on the tokens, preferably 3. And we're going to follow and see how they react. I think I'll probably do another safe portfolio, to be honest, because I like the way this thing's performing. Trust in Bitcoin, Ethereum. I won't buy any Crow, although Crow is a good gainer for us here. Maybe some SEI, XRP, Solana, stuff like that. I'll buy into that and I'll keep track of it. But the majority of the assets will be Bitcoin and Ethereum going forward on this next portfolio, okay? And then I am making a new tutorial for you guys tomorrow, which I think you guys will enjoy. I have another tutorial coming out, not tomorrow, but 2 days from now, because I want to give the members an opportunity to check it out before everybody else, because they pay the $1.99 fee, which I thank you guys for, or the $5 fee. Thank you guys as well. When it comes to the broader market today, I think it was just kind of muted, to be honest. Bitcoin was going up a little bit. Maybe I should go to the market cap first to just talk about it. Bitcoin was up 1%. Ethereum was actually down. XRP was up 1.7. BNB was up a little bit here. Those exchange tokens maybe making some moves. It turns out Femex actually does have an exchange token as well, so I bought $100 worth just to kind of see where it goes. But that chart looks kind of fucked up, so I'm not really going to buy too much of them. But Solana up a little bit. Yeah, it was kind of iffy, you know? I mean, there's some stuff like Mantle that's up quite a bit today, or World Liberty Financial, but you can see most things are pretty much 1%, 2%. Some finance ones going up a little bit. You guys know how I love my finance assets here. AI up a teeny bit, you know, artificial super intelligence with the worst name possible. Aerodynamic is actually down 2% today, but that's fine. It's up 10% for the week. Let's see. I guess Fartcoin is up a little bit. I know we just talked about that. You know, I should probably break down some more sectors here. Maybe later on today, or maybe I'll just make a video on it. The most profitable sectors last quarter, so we can see if we can kind of catch on to that momentum and see if they're going to have very strong results when it comes to the altcoin season, which I guess should be happening sometime over the next 3 to 4 months. All right, now as far as Bitcoin's concerned, like I said at the beginning of this stream here, guys, I am absolutely astonished that Bitcoin managed to pop up here. I was thinking we were most likely going to break down below the 50-day moving average, causing a pretty nasty move, and us heading back down here towards $113,000 to $112,000. The fact that we've bounced and broken out above this, this, I guess, old level of resistance, if you will. Excuse me, guys. The more I talk, the more I just want to burp. But we are heading up to that next one here, right there. For me, I don't really care about this resistance all too much, to be frank with you guys. And that's just because tomorrow is going to be all about the Fed. The Fed is going to determine if we have a big pop or a big drop. I'm still a little bit more bearish than bullish on Bitcoin for the next week or so. And because of that, I told you guys I haven't been doing as much swing trading. And instead, I've been doing a lot of day trading, you know. And I think the day trading has been working out. The next strategy that I gave you guys is actually something I've been testing out over the last few days, which is giving me some good results. Not something I typically do, but it's giving me good results. So I'll show it to you guys a little bit later. However, when you go over here to the weekly chart, put the pointer on here so I don't have the crosshairs. Look at that. We are making a new weekly high right now. We are pushing up a little bit higher. I guess the conundrum that I'm having right now, and where, you know, I'm honest with you guys, I don't think we're going to hit all-time highs from here. At best, maybe we hit something of a double top that creates a lower high where we can start to have a downtrend, where we can consolidate for a couple more weeks and have that larger move. That can definitely happen, but I still, maybe it's just the bearish MACD, and you can already see the MACD is about to turn bullish here in like 2 to 3 weeks here, probably 2 weeks if we continue on the way we are. I still think at this time, I feel like we have to have one more dip before we have a larger move. Perhaps we have this crazy move to the upside and we don't have to worry about another dip. But I think I'm just going to assume it and be safe and say, okay, I've already bought as much as I need to over here when it comes to, Bitcoin, crypto, other altcoins out there in the market. Do I really need to keep on buying some stuff up right now? I don't think I do. So I'll wait and anticipate a drop. From there, I'll buy some more stuff if I get a cheaper price. And then I'll wait and see if we can have a larger move. Because typically when Bitcoin does have these larger moves where it's like a new all-time high or something like that, where everything really starts to go well, it's usually happening because, it usually happens around the point in time where you're seeing the 20-week moving average almost about to cross down below the 50. You see these massive moves coming along, right? Got really close right there, boom, almost like a squeeze effect, if you will, right? Back over here, got close, and then we started just to boom. Now, those are the reasons for all this stuff happening, right? But again, got very close, and then boom. This one, we never even had an opportunity to get close just because the market took off like a roller coaster because of all that nice COVID money that I think we all wish we had back, right? And this one, this is not the larger chart. Let's go back over here. We're going to go the one that has a long distance. Now it's pretty much all nice and same. Yeah, it's only been kind of recently that we've been having this. Because this one led to a cross. You can see Bitcoin was trying to pump going into that death cross there, but I mean, it's COVID, guys. It's, there's nothing we could have done at that point in time. But yeah, I'm still a little bit hesitant on Bitcoin here. Maybe it's more of a feeling, still a little bit of technical analysis in there. But if you guys feel like you want to be buying here, definitely go for it. Especially if you guys are holding for a few months, it's still not a bad opportunity. Although I would have said buying back down here at $107,000 might have been a little bit better, just a tad bit better, right? So a couple things going forward here, guys. Gold is still going higher. This is absolutely insane. Maybe this is just because we're kind of headed for stagflation, but gold is killing it right now. Not as much as Bitcoin's been killing it, of course, but it's doing its part. Dow Jones, we talked about this, still moving higher overall. NASDAQ still moving higher overall. All-time highs, by the way, all-time highs. And the SPY hitting all-time highs and also going up. This is where you guys need to be holding some assets because this market is absolutely insane. If you guys are waiting to buy in because you guys are expecting some type of dip, they will happen every now and again, but it's important that you guys are able to buy the dip and be okay with holding it for months to years in order to make some good returns. I am 100% an advocate right now for those of you guys in stocks. I'm basically just playing big tech besides Apple. I don't like Apple. I've never liked Apple as an asset. Since 2025 over here, since the year, look how it's gone sideways and down. It's been freaking horrible. You go over to Amazon, however, right? Similar, but managed to come back up a little bit more. Google, that's Google. I mean, that's pure AI right there, honestly. Meta, all-time highs. Microsoft, boomed up. I mean, like, oh, beautiful stuff we're seeing here. Now let's make a dip down a little bit, but you had the opportunity to sell up here. You had the opportunity, right? Nvidia, oh, beautiful. Anything else over here? I mean, there's ExxonMobil, but that's oil. We're going sideways here for a minute for oil. But you get what I'm saying? So go over to your weekly chart and just open up one of your 100 or 150 weekly moving averages. I prefer to start with 100s. But I think it's really up to you to determine like where you want to go. If your asset breaks down, this is Exxon, but let me go over here to like a AMD or something like that. If it breaks down below this 100, I buy and I wait to sell it. And it usually works out where I can make some good profit out of it. Usually works out, right? Now, again, 2012, it took all the way to like 2016. That can take some time, right? But when it does move, I'm usually pretty happy with the results. Even this one over here, nice little pop. Well, we're not going into recession territory here, and AI, I hope, is going to help this one out. But AMD, maybe an okay one. NVIDIA is probably the better play to be doing it with. But NVIDIA, like how often, it doesn't really come down as much. Dipped right there, dipped over here, dipped over here. NVIDIA is a better company. I'd probably just stick to NVIDIA. Meta, right? You buy the dips, you good. Buy. Beautiful opportunities. Did not dip there, which was interesting. Microsoft, same type of thing. Now, you can switch it to the 150 weekly moving average if you want to, but I feel like every now and again, it just makes you miss an opportunity. Like there, you still got that one. You still got those ones for better buying zones and things like that. But every now and again, I find a stock where like, oh, I would have missed it if I would have used the 150. I think it's just a personal preference, to be honest. So we'll see. But it's going to take a minute for all these things to crash back down. And I'm talking into, oh, that looks like it might not happen until 2026 or something like that. Interesting. But that's just me having fun. We'll see how it ends up. Let's back to the 15 here. Pop this over a little bit more. I think we're going to keep the smart money indicator on today. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I just want to do one check before I say my hellos and whatnot. And I want to go over here to market sessions and just see how the market's been opening here. Actually pretty downward today. That's interesting. Around 8:40 in the morning, we started to take off. Tokyo time last night, pretty boring. US time Monday, pretty boring as well. Sunday taking off a little bit. That was madness over there. I remember that. That's Sunday. We want Friday. Friday had a nice rally. Okay. For the 4 hour slide, is just poking up a little bit more. It might be worth it to take a short tomorrow morning when the market opens and then like hold it for maybe an hour max and do that. I'll tell you guys how that goes. I'm not going to be up that early, but I'll tell you guys how it would have worked out tomorrow afternoon. All right, let me go back over here to the 15-minute charts as you kind of see if Bitcoin's able to hold some of this going forward. Is there any other news I wanted to tell you guys before we start chatting and whatnot? I'm going to be smoking a cigar with you guys tonight. This is my last cigar I have, well, at least downstairs. I need to go buy some more tonight, perhaps. Possibly tonight. After this, me and Loki are going to go to the waterfront, and we are going to be walking. It'll be nice. Channel's doing good. Everything's doing good. Yeah. The channel's kind of hitting full cylinders right now. We're kind of humming along here, which is pretty nice. And I think my my ADHD medication's kicking in to make me a happy guy when it comes to efficiency and having that workflow kind of hammered down. So, hey, Kryptonite, happy to see you, my man. BNB already all-time highs. Oh, yeah, BNB's been absolutely fantastic. And you know what? I'm interested to see what happens with BNB because Coinbase is coming out with a new token as well. What is that token going to be valued at? It's probably going to have a crazy high market cap. It's not going to start at like 20 million or something like that, which kind of sucks. There's going to be a lot of insiders buying up that shit. But I will probably still buy it as long as it comes out before altcoin season. If it does not come out before altcoin season, I will probably wait until it crashes and burns, and then I'll buy up a shit ton of it because, of course, that token is going to be so lucrative down the road. I mean, incredibly lucrative. But again, I don't have a Coinbase account on my internet or on my desktop. I have it on my phone, so I can't log in here. But I wonder if it'll have that's not even the right email. Okay, so let's go over here. Coinbase new token. Let's see. Oh, it's considering it? I think they were going to do it. Base teases launch of native token at Basecamp 2025. Yes, they've teased it. So it's just still too new in the process. I want to know what the rewards are for holding their tokens, you know? There should be a substantial reward for doing it. So you guys know with leverage exchanges that I work on, I partner with, you get less fees. You guys get access to airdrops and stuff like that. And the tokens usually perform very well over a long period of time, even during bear market environments. Now, not every token is like that when it comes to exchange, but a decent amount of them are, which is why I enjoy buying them up and I make some handy profits from them. But yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going to work with Base. But again, BNB, absolutely solid. I wonder what Base is going to do to BNB if some of that money will go over there. Binance is still the best place to trade if you got large amounts of capital, though. If you're trading millions, you want to be on Binance. You really, really do. Millions, right? And you're paying for those hefty fees over there as well. We are definitely getting that cut tomorrow, but next month CPI will be a rude awakening for Trump and his tariffs policy. We just have to just watch he will have to pull back as well. Oh, I don't think he's going to pull back on the tariffs at all. I don't think he's going to do that because that'd be like admitting he was wrong in some way. But I do think we may see some type of inflation continue to drive up. It just depends on when it actually comes to play. Remember, this Friday here, this Friday here, we do have, was it this week? No, sorry, excuse me, next Friday. There it is. Next Friday, we have PCE inflation, right? So this is going to be our first indication of what's happening. And then going into October and whatnot, we will have more CPI and PPI data. But until that happens, I think PCE is going to control a lot of it here. There was some good jobs data that came out saying what data came out today? It wasn't like jobs numbers, but it was retail sales. That was it. Industrial production and business inventories. So inventories give you an idea if businesses have basically been stockpiling ahead of tariffs and if they still have enough of them. That way they don't have to raise the cost until that new shipment comes in with the tariffs attached to it to kind of increase the overall transportation cost, if you will. But tomorrow we get housing starts and stuff like that, but the big thing is always going to be the Fed. I just don't know how bad inflation is going to be hitting right now. I'm interested to see how all this kind of works itself out. To be honest, though, I am getting a little bit more concerned with, let me go to incognito mode and let me just pull up maps, England. Okay, I'm not really looking at England. I'm looking at everything outside of it. Europe is having some issues right now. And I'm surprised they're having as bad issues as they are. But what's basically been happening is America, this was under Biden and the first Trump administration, and then also China, they've both been going to African countries to try to get them to support their types of regimes. Like come to the western side, come to the eastern side, right? And what's been happening here is all of Africa is a rich, it's just full of resources, natural resources, precious metals, all that type of stuff. And what's been happening is most of the time, all of this natural resources, it gets mined by the DR, Nambia, Botswana, Ghana, whatever. And they send them over to France where they make them into cool stuff. Send them over to Spain where they make them into good stuff. Italy, Romania, Austria. They send it over here through again, remember, Europe is freaking tiny. It does not take much to move goods from Alexandria or Tripoli or whatever over here, right? Or even from over here to over here. My point being, what's been happening is American businesses and Chinese businesses and states, right? They've been allowing these guys say, hey, why don't we own 10 to 20% of your business and we actually help you build massive manufacturing places over here so you can mine the product, mine the ore, mine the natural resources yourself, but then you can turn it into something, and that's where you create that middle class wealth. And then once you make it, you can sell it into France, Austria, Chechnya, I think that's how you pronounce it, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, right? Denmark, cool. So, unfortunately, a lot of those jobs that used to be up here, middle class jobs that have pensions and stuff, because Europe loves that pension system over there, which I get it, pensions are awesome. But Africa's taking back a lot more of their economic power from Europe, and Europe has no idea how to fight back because it goes against who Europe is. Like, everybody decides their own future. We're all together in this country, we're not going to force you to do certain things. If you guys recall, just a few months ago, maybe like 7 months ago now, do you guys remember that like France was kicked out of parts of Europe? Like multiple countries in Europe kicked out the French military. I mean, because France was like overreaching in what they wanted. And they were like, no. Actually, let me pull up that story. France kicked out of Africa. I'm going to say Africa, but a certain country will pop up. Oh, here we go. It's actually a Wikipedia page. Beginning in 2022, France began to withdraw military troops from several West African nations following decades of military presence and interventions. Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Chad all unilaterally terminated their defense agreements, while the Central African Republic, Ivory Coast, and Senegal requested their withdrawal. That's a lot of countries saying, get the fuck out. Okay, so... But that's because American money's been going in there and Asian money's been going in there. And a little bit of Indian money's been going in there as well, right? So why do they need the Europeans? For military assistance, American can help with that. The Chinese can definitely help with that. India, a little bit more of a struggle, but I think they can help out to some degree. Depends on where everything's at. And remember, don't know if this map will be good or not. When was this made? This is 2023, but it's okay. See how many military bases America has over here. Botswana, right? Go over here. They don't really have the Chinese. Well, Chinese doesn't have military bases. I guess it's more. Oh, there's a Chinese military base over here. Main point is, see how France is kicked out of there. France is just being kicked out. They don't have that power. They don't have those resources. It's funny enough, we had talked about something similar happened without the military request. We had talked about it back in 2023 because back then Africa was saying to Switzerland, we don't want to give you our raw cocoa so you guys can make Swiss chocolates and stuff. We're just going to make the chocolate here. And if you want to buy our chocolate, come on by. And you kind of saw some racism from the Swedish prime minister, which was crazy. Swiss prime minister. I keep on saying Sweden versus Switzerland. I think the Swiss, the Swiss. Where, she's like, you collect the cocoa, we make the chocolate. That's how it's been. That's how it should be. And I was like, damn. Like, okay, you keep on picking that cotton. I was like, damn. But again, Europe has acted like that for a very, very long time. Now that Africa says, hey, we're getting some support from America. We're getting some support from China, right? China was actually more efficient, but because we saw that China was taking advantage of how just like stupid we were with talking to Africa and Africans, they've kind of like, America's kind of shifted back a little bit. That's something I applaud Trump for. His guys over dealing with Africa, they're being much more practical. Like, hey, we'll give you money to build so and so and so, and we'll help you build some stuff. But also where China, I think, is better than America right now is, sorry to go off on this random tangent, China will just build up a freaking hospital. They'll build a hospital. They'll build a school. America will give you money for a school, give you money for a hospital. But when there's corruption in the system, how much of that money actually ends up going there, right? And they will send Chinese builders out there. That way there's no, this and this and this. No, just send the builders out there, right? The point of that being, I wonder if Europe will drag us down a little bit more over the next few years because they're kind of going through their own chaos because they just don't have the wealth as a country that they used to have, right? As a block of nations, I guess. Like, let me go over here very fast and I didn't spell that right, but that's fine. Europe economics. Let me just go to news here and let's just see some of the articles, right? Do all corridors lead to Haifa? Let's see. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Europe's getting fucked by Trump too right now. Will Europe fight for its economic power? Yeah, I'm not reading all that, but no. Let's see. The ongoing stories of Europe's economic woes. Yeah. Oh, really? Hold on, there was just one thing I wanted to see in here, which I wanted to zoom in if possible. Yeah, the Wall Street Journal piece notes that European businesses spend 40% of IT budgets on compliance. Even tech giants struggle. Remember, they don't have the same type of free speech that we have over here, so they have to be much more careful about what type of information they allow to get out. Otherwise, they get fined and stuff. Oh man, that'd be rough. I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like it's such a crazy thing to try to limit has the free speech in a way. Like society will get you if you're kind of out of the bounds, right? Society will kind of fix it, like you get fired from your job and stuff like that. Hey, the man on top. I think it's not a U.S. issue. I apologize. I think that was actually just a Washington State issue because when I do it, it has issues sometimes. But like, I am an affiliate for Blowfin. I know some of the managers over there. They're really chill people. So if you can use it, no problems. Keep on using it, man. Keep on using it. You bought more Crow and World Liberty Financial. Let me know how that World Liberty Financial works out for you because I haven't really bought any yet. I still hold a thing like $200 worth of Trump token. I think I own like $50 of Melania. Not really heavy hitter moves, you might imagine, but if they go big, that little bit of money can turn into something over the next few months. You bought DJCO again, 1K shares for 407 each, sold for 445, quick 38K from Friday to Monday. Damn, you were just playing the weekend trade there, Larry. That's a nice move there, right there. Hey, Larry, have you been looking at I know we talked about some quantum stocks a while ago. Have you been looking still at some of these uranium assets and things like that? I don't know what I should do with some of my holdings there when it comes to uranium. I think there was only like one that I bought. Was it UUU? No, I forget the stock I have. It's in a long-term account. Because how has uranium been doing? I mean, it's been growing, but again, I bought it back over here in 2023. So, and this is not the same thing, but as the stock I'm holding, but you can see that at least it's been going higher here. I'm hoping that does come help us out. I think we're going to need it for the energy sector here eventually, especially as we're kind of moving over towards electric vehicles. I'd want to have some good stuff. Talking about Cosmo Bowl, let me see. And hey, Marcelo, happy to see you, my man. So I had to like figure out where your name started and ended with the double name there. Probably Binance would be the best. This thing's been coming down quite a bit. It really hasn't had a full forced move. It's been able to break down below support a little bit more. Coming back down to here, which is fine. Was there a nice Fibonacci level here at all? No, not really either, was it? Yeah, not really. This thing has not been honoring much. Okay, well. Let me just see if anything's really worked in the past here. Okay, that one was a little bit better. Okay, so it, it works a little bit better in the short term here. It's at 458 right now. The lowest you're going to probably see it come down is probably around 358. If I was holding this right now, I'd probably have a stop loss right at 358 because if it falls below that, there's like no hope for this thing having a really good move anytime soon. But you can see it's already been creeping up. The monthly chart has a little bit of a bullish momentum here. Doesn't really mean much because last time it didn't really do anything. The weekly chart over here doesn't really mean much as well. I mean, a little bit here. Yeah, a little bit on the weekly charts. Okay. Kind of just depends. Yeah, if that one didn't work out, yeah. Where is my... Okay, let me just go over here. Is this what I'm looking for? Nope. There we go. Okay, a little bit higher. All right, we're going to treat this as the bottom of this entire move right now. It's a monthly chart. You know, it's been honoring this one actually pretty darn well. I think we found a little winner here. So right now, what you'd probably want to be doing is continuing to hold on to this, right? Whatever you got, whether it's average here, here, wherever it may be. What I'd probably do is continue to hold on, wait for it to break it above this. It'll probably consolidate for a little bit, but I think sometime by the end of the year, if we're going into like an altcoin season, you've already seen that this thing can make a large move. I would say it can probably get back up towards $11. Now, let me check out the... So it's at 2.13 billion. I don't know how much money can flow into this one this cycle because it's not the same as 2021, but I think we could see this get to at least $12. And if we have something of a sustained run where we do have the interest rate cuts, things are really humming along, people are very happy, I think you have an opportunity to get back up here towards the $25 range. I don't imagine it getting above this line though. I still think it can perform very well. Like if you have an average right now and it just goes up to that next level, that's still around 146%. That's amazing. Up here, I'm saying it's a little bit unrealistic, but that's 400, 500% right there. Possible. It just, 2021 was such an abnormality. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to do that again, but I do think it can at least get back up to $10, $12, which would be very good for you, especially once it decides to break back above this level. So I'm just using the basic pitchfork tool, but I think I have this set to modded. Yeah, modified shift. Yeah, modified shift right here. Usually my go-to bread and butter pitchfork play here. But this actually is honoring that, extremely well. So I'd probably say I'd have a price target of around $10 to $12. It's at $4.50 right now, so at least 100% return on the investment if you've been buying over the last few months. Not bad at all. I wish Bitcoin liked to follow it as much as Adam here. Oh, don't get rid of 16 indicators. It's crazy that I have 16 indicators on here, although I'm not using a lot of them. There you go. All right, Bitcoin hasn't really done, it does a little bit, but it doesn't do as much as I would like. It like really nice support and resistance. It kind of falls below it every now and again, and I get this volatility, I get it, but let me see. Doesn't really do that well when it comes to shift either. Again, it does okay, you can see it, right? But that means Bitcoin's next nasty move is probably going to be when we hit 137,000 if we go off of that. There's other things out there as well, But again, it can pop above it for a short time before it comes back down. We've seen that plenty of times. Let me try the inside. Is going to be a little bit nastier. Inside, okay. What number is that? 130,000? Oh, yeah. It's just going to be a choppy mess. Or we're going to have so much force that we just break through it all. We typically don't just break through them, though. You can see we usually have a little bit of hesitation. We did it once over here back in March. Perhaps we can break through this one and top off around 160,000. Original, I never use original, but maybe you guys like this. It works to a degree. It works to kind of like a little buying opportunity. Didn't work down here, but last few years it's been doing okay. One of many tools that you guys will be using to determine when you guys want to buy and sell for the long-term hauls, right? You guys know me, I prefer the 150 moving average on Bitcoin itself, but on most stocks, it's usually going to be a 100 weekly moving average. We've been messing with tariffs throughout the year, and we still hit all-time highs. Total market cap above $4 trillion. We're good. Yeah. Well, right now it's more of, how do I explain this? The Fed is terrified of inflation coming back because of tariffs. And because that, they've been making mistakes by holding rates high for too long. And what that's been doing is a couple things here. First, it's made the economy slow down to a point where people are kind of getting a little bit more fearful of what's happening. We've actually had a month of job loss, and we haven't had a month of job loss since 2020. Literally since COVID, right? 2020. I think the more damaging issue for Jerome Powell is that it appears that Trump understands the economy more than Jerome Powell. Trump does not understand the economy more than Jerome Powell. But Jerome Powell is making mistake after mistake after mistake. And you have to wonder, why can't Jerome Powell just understand what a lot of other economists can see, right? We all know that when tariffs are applied, there's going to be that tax, basically, which causes the price of goods, down the channel to us go up a little bit. Now, the person that's making the good, that's selling it into America, they're taking a little bit of a cut, right? Because they're paying a little bit more as well, or they're getting paid less, basically. The person that imports it, they're paying a little bit more, and the consumer, we're also paying a little bit more. So everybody's paying a little bit more. The government is getting that money, and to a degree, it is helping us out with our massive deficits, because no matter if you're Trump, Obama, Biden, Bush, whatever, our Republican and Democratic presidents love to spend way too much money. Now, all that being said, it is going to make prices go higher. But if it's not making inflation spiral out of control and cause the chaos that everybody was talking about back in April, which you can see Bitcoin's been fine, the stock market's been just fine. At a certain point, you got to be like, okay, we're messing up stuff we're not supposed to be messing up. We need to back off a little bit here. Because remember, they're supposed to be, the neutral rate is like 100 basis points less than where they are. They're over restricting the economy because they're so afraid of inflation. They need to back off, understand inflation will go higher. But it's not like we're adding more tariffs every year, so inflation will keep on going up. Inflation will go up, and then when there's no more things, no more supply chain issues and stuff like that, things will get a little bit better. The only issue I have with the way the media is portraying a lot of this stuff right now, I got a lot of issues. They keep on saying that somehow AI and all this new stuff is going to help prices come down. Let me tell you, if I was a business owner of Coca-Cola and it cost me 50 cents to make a can of Coca-Cola, okay? And I got AI and I charged for that Coca-Cola can $1. So I made 50% profit minus all the paying for people and stuff like that. But I made 50-cent profit off of every can. And then AI came along and some robots came along. And because of the AI and robots, I was able to make that Coca-Cola can for 10 cents instead of 50 cents. Right? To make that Coca-Cola bottle, can, whatever. I would still charge $1 for it and just make more money and give that money to my shareholders. So I don't think that inflation is going to have this glorious come down, right? With AI and stuff. I think sometimes Wall Street forgets that they're very greedy, like extremely greedy individuals. So they think about, oh no, we're going to help out people, and capitalism is going to allow us to say, hey, this guy that's doing Coca-Cola is charging $1. Well, guess what? I'm going to charge 95 cents. Doesn't work because a lot of people like Coca-Cola, right? Now, if it becomes crazy expensive or something like that, maybe people will shift their trends or whatever. I just see corporate America still being as greedy as ever, which means that during that golden age, earnings reports are going to be absolutely insane. And this is where I'm kind of excited to see which companies can really take advantage of AI a lot more than others. And it's going to be AI with robotics. And it's kind of some of the things I'm looking to put a portfolio together for the next, I want to say 20 years. I know that's a long time. Maybe I'll say 10 years. But I'm looking to put a portfolio together where I'm looking for different assets and different let's just say different companies that can, boom, there we go, that can take advantage of AI and robotics in a way where their margins increase drastically and they don't have as much competition because, there are a few businesses out there, more than a few, that really don't have a lot of competition, so they can pretty much control the price of the market. Maybe they dip it down a little bit, just say, oh yeah, we're making changes, but their margins are so crazy high that they don't care that they're losing about 1% to 2% or something like that. All right. That's why I was really hoping that we could have some automation when it comes to Arizona iced tea. I haven't had Arizona iced tea in like a freaking year, but I remember they were freaking delicious. And I remember that I was very happy that even though they made the cans a little bit smaller, the aluminum a little bit thinner, they still only cost 99 cents plus sales tax in Washington, but still, I think we're headed for a lot of interesting things down the road. And hey, Larry, depends. I mean, nuclear is the future. Expected with the African rebellions against the French currency they're forced to use, the price would jump. What do you call Larry? Talking about that French stuff. The French is just so crazy because it's France. I don't know how to describe it. I shouldn't feel bad about watching other countries suffer, but I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like their president at all. And oh, dude, remember when he got slapped by his wife? Oh God, wife, I guess. I don't know. Candace Owens says some crazy shit about that woman. All right, but I'm looking to probably buy some more uranium stocks here. I've been holding them for so long, dude. Like, we've been talking about this, I think, like years, uranium for years. And I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting. And maybe that will speed up the process over there. I think Europe, not America. I think eventually Europe will mandate everybody use electric cars unless they have some type of special requirement where they live in some small village where they can't not have an electric car, right? Then I think they'll make investments to make it so they have to eventually get an electronic car. Then I think the power they need will only be able to come from uranium at that point in time, which I think is very, very important, very, very useful for all of us, right? Folsom, yeah, probably a 5-minute pump. The pump usually lasts about 20 to 25 minutes. Then a few minutes before Jerome Powell comes out, whatever direction it goes, it usually just flips around. I mean, look at the futures market every time Jerome Powell, not futures, the dollar index every time Jerome Powell talks. Up, down, or down, up. In this circumstance, the dollar index will probably go down then up, right? Would you like another treat? Yeah. See? He's getting too needy, guys. Getting too needy. So I need to leave him outside for a couple days to enjoy himself, but I don't have the heart to do it. What do I think happens when they announce cuts or no cuts? Oh, sorry, I just read that question. Sorry about that. What do you think XRP is about to be when these ETFs are settled in? Probably another 25 to 50% higher once everything kind of mellows out. I'm curious to see what type of future collaborations they can do with other companies and how they're going to continue to make more money from the system that's kind of embracing it right now. I think their technology is going to have to drastically improve, though, if you want to hold it for like decades and decades and decades. To me, they're making some great moves, but because crypto is still so new and there's a large amount of college graduates that don't have jobs right now, I am assuming that over the next few years you're going to see a lot of like garage cryptocurrency companies start popping up, and they are going to have something that really is revolutionary that can threaten XRP. And you also got a lot of other stuff like Airline Finance and stuff like that are also like taking little market shares. They are really going to have to invest a lot into their future in order to stay at the top of the pinnacle of finance. I think they can do it, which is why I still hold a good chunk of XRP, right? I've been holding XRPs from like 2017, 2019, something like that, 2019. I just think it's going to take them a little bit of time to do that. But that's my only fear for them. I'm still happy to hold it. I think they can probably go another 100% or so max over this cycle. I wouldn't be surprised if they go up another 50% or so. Like, how much have they gone up so far? They're up 40% in the last 90 days, but only up, they're up 46%, excuse me, since year to date. 181 billion. They can easily break 200 billion, sure, maybe 250. Do I see them getting to like $400 billion? Possible, but unlikely. I'm hoping that I'm wrong about that because of the way the ETFs have allowed Wall Street to get access to XRP. So you might be able to see that possibly because of the new ETF market kind of getting involved with the tokens and whatnot. It's going to go through it's going to be a rough transition to for AI jobs. Oh yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Guys, there's so much money to be made. If you guys invest and you guys take your accounts like really seriously, like hunker down for a couple of weeks and just kind of figure out how much money do I need to save for this, and that. Oh man, guys, this is going to be a golden age. For certain people though, right? Remember, some people are going to do great. A lot of people are not. All right. That's why I remember we took that whole day to just talk over what jobs are going to be lost through AI, like data entry and stuff like that. Oh, good guys. I mean, like once the brain power of AI really scales up and we get some newer chips from NVIDIA and stuff like that, which is why NVIDIA is such a great long-term hold, it's going to be almost impossible for the human brain to just really be able to like compete, right? Like every now and again you see AI being used right now. Like I saw a video today and it was a guy talking to a Krispy Kreme drive-through, and the drive-through was AI, and it just was not fucking understanding this guy, and it was making mistakes and stuff like that, right? And then like a human person took over. However, just wait for it to work perfectly. That person will still be there, right? But they're probably going to let go of one other person who they don't need. That one person that has to go find another job, right? Now imagine you go to Krispy Kreme and it's basically just like a building, but there's nowhere to really walk in because it's just a drive-through and everything is done by robots besides maybe one manager in there. That one manager probably makes $80,000 to $90,000 a year. They're doing freaking amazing. But all those other people in there that would be making $20 an hour, $25 an hour, not like let's say $18 an hour to $20 an hour in Washington State because we're expensive up here. Those people would be gone, right? So it's just a very interesting new world we're moving into. But for those who understand how AI works and how to manage it a little bit better, they're going to have so many more opportunities than everybody else, right? Your job doesn't have to use AI, right? But if you implement AI into your workflow to make yourself more productive and keep on top of all your tasks, you can be like, hey, boss, is there anything you need help with? You know, you brown nose your boss a little bit. When layoffs come around, you're not the one getting laid off. My family has done this numerous times in our life, right? My grandmother, back when she worked at Boeing, every day she'd bring her boss a cup of coffee. It wasn't her job. She worked in HR. Didn't need to do it. She did it because whenever there was layoffs and they laid off people, she would get her slip because everybody got slip. Not once did she ever get laid off. Some of her friends got laid off, like that. Those little bit of things will help you out a lot. Plus, you just want to be a very productive worker. That's the base of everything. When they're looking at your production, just like the numbers of who you are, not your personal knowledge, just the numbers of who you are, it makes a huge difference if you're a little bit more productive than the other guy. Because again, AI will be using AI will be judging you. It won't be a person necessarily making these decisions. It'll be AI. So the AI is just going to focus on the numbers. So it's going to be important for all of us to kind of understand that. Let's see. Yeah, uranium's definitely going to be the play here. What's happening with Elon and Dogecoin? He's been not talking about it. I think he got in trouble from the government, and because of that, he hasn't been talking about it as much. I believe if we go into an altcoin season, maybe we'll see a nice little spike. But over the last 90 days, Dogecoin is up around 60%. So I'm pretty happy with the results because, like, Bitcoin's up over the last 90 days 11%. Ethereum is up 80%. XRP's up 40%. So it's outperforming, at least over the last 90 days, XRP, not over the year. But XRP had its own special circumstances, right? BNB's up 48%. Solana's up 61%. Then you go to year to date, of course, Dogecoin's not doing so hot. But I mean, like, let's see, Sui, same type of thing here. Good over the last 90 days, but not necessarily great year to date. It's been performing okay. I like Dogecoin. I can still expect it to get to 50 cents, 80 cents, whatever. Getting into $1, I think it definitely can this cycle. But man, we're going to need to have some pumps from good old boy Elon Musk for sure. Definitely got scolded by someone for taking crypto. That's what normally happens, right? But okay, everybody, I'm going to head out right now. I'm going to go on a walk with Loki at the waterfront. And then from there, maybe I'll make some short form videos and stuff like that. I've been making some shorts just about Joe Rogan, Charlie Kirk, and like when they talk about cryptocurrency and stuff like that. And then I think tomorrow I'll be making one more tutorial on Thursday. I have another video coming out. It's a swing trading strategy. A couple of the members have already watched it here, but it's basically the best swing trading strategy with a 99% win rate. It's a pretty darn good trading strategy, and the video is only 8 minutes long. Hope you guys enjoy it. It'll be live at 5 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, or 8 o'clock Eastern time, if you will. Okay, so see you guys all a little bit later, and thank you guys so much for chilling with me today. It's been a good day for Bitcoin and everything. And thanks to my grandma was very, very smart, very, very shrewd as well. But man, she knew how to do everything the right way. which she taught me a lot of that, but some things I just